tuning in to this episode of Speak Woman Podcast. Speak Woman Magazine and Marketing is a platform for women from all walks of life to share their stories, and we invite you to do just that. So go over to speakwomanmagazine.com, check out our latest issue, and learn how you can advertise your brand, your product, your service in our upcoming issue, and how you can be a guest on Speak Woman Podcast. We are doing great things. This is a new season and I want to include you. So let's connect. SpeakWomanMagazine.com. Now let's jump right into this episode of Speak Woman Podcast. Hey y'all, another episode of Speak Woman Podcast coming to you today. You have the pleasure of just ear hustling a little bit on a good conversation between me and my sister, a woman that I love with all my heart, and I know you do too. So we're going to have a great conversation. We're talking about women of wisdom. So over the next 4 weeks, we'll be talking to women that have wisdom that you can learn from them. So we want you to tune in and connect with them, support their businesses and their brands, starting with my sister. I love you forever, Miss Neah Rainey with SweetRainDesserts. So now is the time to share, press that share button and make sure you go over to SweetRainDesserts. I always get SweetRainDesserts and Speak Woman because we sisters for real, y'all. So go over to SweetRainDesserts.com and order your custom sweet treat. Let's jump right into it. Miss Neah, thank you so much for being with me today. How you doing? All right, we're going to get some volume on my sister real quick. Hold on one second, my dear. All right, you might be muted on your side. Just hit that unmute button. We're going to get it together. There you go, love. How you doing?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. We're talking about women of wisdom, and we're going to have a little conversation about being a leader, being an entrepreneur, and still being teachable. But first, tell us a little bit about Neah. Tell us a little bit about Sweet Rain. You are an all-around, you're more than Sweet Rain. You are a hometown hero for the Dayton and surrounding areas. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, as you stated, my name is Neah Rainey. I am the CEO of SweetRainDesserts. I am married. I've been married for 20 years, getting ready to celebrate 21. I have 2 children, teenagers, the ones that really get you going crazy. And I love my community.
Man, and that you're so humble because you're like, so let me just go in. So let me go in a little bit. Not only I love the story about how you started SweetRainDesserts because you saw a need, you saw children that had untapped potential, and you used that as a way to help kids get back in school, to get on the right track, and that morphed into SweetRainDesserts. And so you have an amazing testimony there. So let's start there. What did that look like when you were like, I'm going to start a SweetRainDesserts? Like, because it's more than just bakery. It's your tagline is raining everything sweet.
Everything's sweet. Yeah.
Talking about fruit, talking about yogurt, talking about the customized, like if you are at the Indulge event, it's real live sweet buffet. How did you start that?
Well, the first thing that I knew, I used to love going to places like Baskin Robbins, different places that had multiple different types of flavors. And I liked having the choices. So when I started getting my business going, I realized that I can be basic by having the same things that pretty much so everyone does, or I could step out of that and have no boundaries and just be able to do a little bit of everything. So I thought I'd learn about the whole process, and that's exactly what I did.
Wow. And you literally give away almost everything with the tornado that happened. It was just amazing because there was a devastating tornado or a series of tornadoes in the Dayton, Ohio area. And it was like you morphed from full-time CEO with a business to run, a family to raise, a household to run, but you cut it all off. And every single day, all day, from sun up to sundown, you were giving people free food. I'm talking about not sandwiches, peanut butter jelly. We're talking about home cooked hot meals, talking about food, household items. I mean, helping people pay their bills, helping people get hotel rooms, helping people travel to somewhere safe. Tell me what that was like, to literally shut your business down to be a help to your community, but still having the life to your life to run your family.
It was scary. It was scary. I honestly, when I first got started, I had no intentions of it becoming a lengthy process. I thought that I would be able to get out here, take some money, get some sandwiches and drinks and chips and different stuff like that. And I'd be able to go out here and offer some assistance to a few people who needed it. Um, but I really didn't expect to see what I saw. We see devastation all the time over in our world, and but I've never really had to be in it. So it was a whole different process, and it kind of hurt my feelings the first day that it got dark outside, and I realized that there was no way to protect none of the people who were there. And after that first day of seeing people come out of the the rubbish, as you can say, and seeing that they were without anything. Some of them, you know how we just go to sleep, how we want to go to sleep, and you never think that at some point in time you will lose everything in the midst of your sleep. So I've seen a group that was already out there, kind of spoke to them. They invited us to come in. We kind of matched up with each other, and I stayed on Riverside for quite some time, um, trying to make sure that things happened. And it got a little hectic over there. So then I had to relocate a couple different times in order to be able to keep that process going. But it truly was, I was, like I said, it was scary. One of the reasons why it was scary is because it was like, okay, God, how can I be out here if
Yes.
I need to be in the house, if I need to be running my business, if I need to be managing my household, my kids, how can I do this every single day? But every day I got up as if it was just part of doing for my family.
Mm.
My family helped me out to make sure that we unloaded every single day, to make sure that I was completely set up. And we did well. We did really, really well.
And
And
partnered with Shiloh, and it just, like, it was amazing how you transition. And just from the outside looking in, it's a transition, but it's also an elevation, because you begin to gain more connections with churches, with community organizations. And it's like people are looking at you and saying, are you a community organization? And you're like, nope, I'm just, a one woman band here.
yes,
Definitely having support, because I know there was a lot of people, even your family. When I came in, I was seeing, especially your husband. He's just moving stuff around, and just so just amazing. Your kids just moving stuff and helping people, and I know they're like, oh, we're used to it. They know the giving heart. But to see the community love on you, you being interviewed, you receiving awards. I know you have countless awards, and I've been in your house. I don't see the word awards up, but I'm like, this woman has been nominated and received so many community awards. And you should, because many times we don't know how much you do, because you do it in silence. You don't do it to say, hey, I'm here for it. You'll go live and you'll let the community know, because there are people that want to help you. But it rarely do people know the depth that you go. And so when I think about wisdom, I always think about you, because even in our conversations, you have just blessed my whole life, and just poured into me, and so many others have that same testimony of calling you and you just pouring into them. And so you are a leader, you are an accomplished woman, you are an entrepreneur, you have all of this experience, but how do you balance that with still being teachable? Because this came up just over and over. I'm just looking at folks, and sometimes when you reach a certain accomplishment, you might have been in the game for 20 years, you might have all of these doctorates and all of these letters behind your name, but we all still must remain teachable. We can be a leader and a student at the same time. What does that balance look like for you?
Well, for me, one of the reasons why I've had to learn that throughout my life I'll be teachable is because becoming an entrepreneur, I wanted to skip from step one to step
Mhm.
200 so that I could go ahead and get to where I needed to be. So I always wanted to skip over things, but found that the more that I skipped over, the more that it came right back at me. At some point in time, I needed to do those things. Some point in time, I needed to learn how. So learn thinking that you can skip and get there. God showed me no. You got to learn this process before we go to the next process. And so even today, I still teach myself every single day. Well, I can't even really say me teaching myself because I still use apps, like YouTube, and I sign up for different classes and so forth to be able to take more skills. Baking is always ever changing. There's new techniques, there's new different things to learn. And so, of course, in that process, that's what I try to do. But you got to always be willing to learn because we never stand still. We're always growing. And if you stand still, then you kind of get left behind.
Wow, that's powerful, because I just see the stages of just an entrepreneur. Most of us who don't come from a family or people that have taught us how to run a business, we're coming into it blind, and we're like, oh, I don't need that. I don't have time for that. I don't have the money. I need to skip to step 3 because I need money now. And so I'm always balancing to say, there are some times that I can be try to be overly prepared, that I need to jump into some things, but I still need to make sure that it makes sense, that I'm not trying to skip a step. But if you hard headed like me, we like, no, I still ain't trying to hear that. I'm gonna go on, but having to go back. And so that, as we were talking, even last night, I'm thinking how we are in this survival mode. At certain times in life that we gotta, we might have to feel like we're skipping a step, but that does not mean that it's right. We still have to go back
We still got
and
to
get
go back with it.
and get those things prepared, and we miss our blessings because we don't want to get those things prepared. What has been your experience, as far as, I know you do a lot of work in the community, in the mental health field. I know, that's not like these things are drawn to you. You might not have signed up to it, but people come to you, and I know you see different personality types. What are some things that blocks us from saying, okay, even if I had to do this to get to where I am, I still have to go back and be teachable? Because there are some people that are not teachable. They're not open to it. What are some blockages that you found in your experiences and even in your own life, that to say why we don't want to be teachable? We don't want to go back and do what we know we should do.
I honestly believe that everyone is teachable. I
Mm,
really do. It's about the way that we go about it. If I feel that I'm in fear, or if I'm nervous that something that I'm used to doing, you're going to tell me a new way to try to do it, and I'm used to being comfortable. Sometimes people just have to learn how to come out of their comfort zone, in knowing that outside of the comfort zone is where the growth is. You cannot
mm,
grow staying in your comfort zone. You do have to go. You have to experience new things. You have to try new stuff. Your same German chocolate recipe might have worked for so many years, but then as things begin to update, as things begin to upgrade, you have to understand that I may have to add to that. You don't necessarily have to change your whole thing the way that you used to do it, but you do have to know how to add to yourself every single time. And that's why I believe people are teachable, especially if they want to learn. It just depends on which way you're going to have to teach them.
It depends on the approach then,
Correct.
on how someone is approaching them, and I see that especially in communities that have lack of resources or different things going on. People say, "Oh, all they need to do is just get a job. All they need to do is," and you're not taking into consideration all the things that they have on their plate. And you're like, all you need to do is on top of 85 things, and you lost them
Right.
at the start
Right.
at your approach.
One of the things that I learned while working in the community, um, of course, I had to lose everything in order to be able to get to that point to actually understand the situation. Um, just because your way works for you doesn't mean that it works the same for someone else. And one of the
Mhm.
reasons why, when normally I do things in the community, I make it known that you don't have to need the process that I'm going through. You don't have to need, you just have to want it. I don't need you to come and give me a story, give me some sort of backline. I just need you to come and get it. Be blessed with whatever it is and just take it for however it is that you need it. So, some people, when they come around, it may be easy to give them information and they can go off and do it. Then there are some people that you may have to start backwards and teach them some things up until that point in order for them to go forward. But in the meantime, you still have to not let people feel as if they're dumb or if they don't, if they're, you gotta kind of remember that is that sometimes when you're speaking to people, you can kind of make them feel bad automatically and they'll withdraw. As soon as they begin to feel that you're judging them, they're going to withdraw. So I had to learn that no matter if what someone else does, if that wouldn't be me, I had to be able to accept people for exactly who they are, where they are, and then just being able to go from there. And that is truly, it is truly, truly a hard thing, because you have to learn that. I used to be a corrections officer a long time ago. And one of the things that they taught us was, if you got an inmate incarcerated for abusing kids, you have to treat that inmate the same way as you would treat the same inmate who broke into somebody's house and stole something. You would have to treat a rapist the same way you treat a murderer. All of these different people have to fit up under the same category. You don't get to judge. That was my first class in learning how to control my inner thoughts. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying that they don't come up. I mean, those thoughts are coming up like, why would they do that? That does come up. But however, whatever their reasoning is behind it, it's already done. So that isn't something that you should always dwell on. You should dwell on the ending goal. What is the ending goal when you're trying to teach someone else a different perspective on life?
Wow, I'm just listening because that's ministry, right? That is real life ministry. And people try to pick and choose who they don't judge. We say, "Oh, don't judge somebody that is doing the same stuff that I'm doing." But if they do something else that looks a little bit different, then it is okay to judge them. And so that blocks so many people from, because nobody wants to be disrespected. Nobody wants to be talked to in a condescending manner. Nobody wants to be felt like, oh, that mistake was so bad, that I'm a bad person or that I cannot do better or get better. And so that definitely, as I'm listening to you, I'm hearing the community heart to say, I need to treat everybody the same way, regardless of what, because that's not my job. My job is to be here to serve, to be that leader. And then in that instance, I'm still seeing how, they can teach us something. Sometimes you think you're serving somebody else and you're teaching somebody else, even our children. Like, I still have to be teachable as the leader of my children. They still teach me stuff as well. So that's a lifelong cycle. So we don't have the ability to choose what's sin or who's doing what is worse.
I remember
Mm.
when I was living in the low income housing, and there was this young lady who used to be at the bus stop every single day to go to work and to go to school. I mean, every single day, whether or not if it was raining, snowing, really, really cold outside and everything like that. And I remember thinking to myself that several of us, like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm not getting on the bus. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not doing that. But I watched this young lady do this every single day. And it made me think about it because when she did it, like you could, hey, you need a ride? And she like, no, I'm good, Miss Neah. I got it. Don't worry about it. And I'm thinking, it's cold out here or it's raining, but what that taught me was that we always come up with excuses. But when
Mm.
we really want something just like that young lady did, like nothing was stopping her. Not the factor that she lived in low income housing, not the factor that she didn't have money, that she didn't have transportation, that she had children. None of those things stopped her. She got up every single day and did what she had to do. I looked at her like she was teaching me something because at that time I felt, you know what? I used to get mad when, there are certain things that I got to do that I don't want to do, but she took them in stride, and I mean, she was looking up to me, but I was looking up to her.
Wow. Wow. And that's always remaining teachable, even as a leader, because I think you're always a leader no matter where you are in life, but you're taking the jewels out of life and you're taking the lessons from each and every one. That's powerful. And the moral of the story is that we have to, in order to grow, we have to continually learn to be teachable, continually learn that everybody has value. I love your approach to people because it takes a special kind of heart. It takes a special kind of person to be where you are and still remain teachable. So I definitely appreciate that. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Sweet Rain Desserts. We're going to talk about what you do in the magic. Like I've seen cakes that move. I've seen the fidget spinner cakes. I've seen some honeymoon cakes, some X-rated cake. I've seen like it's amazing what you do with sweet treats. And so we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Sweet Rain Desserts. Make sure you all go over to SweetRainDesserts.com. Order custom sweet treat. Make sure you check her out in every issue of Speak Woman magazine. She is my girl. She is the bomb. You want to connect with her. And we'll talk about some of the upcoming classes that you're doing as well, because you can also teach people how to create their own sweet treat. And we're going to talk about that when we come back. We'll be right back with Neah Rainey, SweetRainDesserts.com. All right, we got some technical difficulties. Here we go. Let's try. All right, guys, we are back with Miss Neah Rainey with Sweet Rain Desserts. We talked about being teachable as a leader, and we talked about how Neah is a CEO a community leader, a wife, a mother, a sister. Oh my goodness, your mama, I love her. Your family is amazing. You are just a jewel to everyone that comes in contact with you. So I want to talk about these sweet treats. Tell me, like we talked about how you wanted to have the 31, the over the mountain kind of decisions. Tell me about, because when you come to the Indulge event, your table always has a long line because everybody wants to come and create their own utopia when it comes to sweet treats. And we leave happy and having a good time. Even those that are trying to be conscious, you offer gluten-free. I'm vegan, so you got some vegan situations over there. You do amazing situations with fruit. Like you can make magic with anything for everyone. Tell us about some of the things that you offer. And I know it's for weddings, funerals, Tuesdays, every day. And I know you have clients and folk that come to you. You are my personal baker. So we are serious about Sweet Rain Desserts. How'd you come up with that concept?
Well, again, like I said, most of it comes from the idea of people being able to create what it is that they like. When you can produce, like I have over 250 flavors that I can do. I can make anything from your favorite ice cream, cookie, candy, anything like that can be made into a dessert. So with that ideal being out there, I allow my customers to create whatever it is that they want to. If your flavor today is chocolate, then hey, we're going to do something with chocolate. If tomorrow you want caramel and strawberry, I may not think that that's a good combination, but for you, I am going to create something specifically for you with that. So when you tell people that, because they're used to the basic vanilla, yellow, chocolate, strawberry, they're used to that. Um, they're not used to someone being able to give them so many options. So when it came time for the Indulge event, normally when I go to events, everybody does the same things. And cupcakes or cookies or something of that nature. And I wanted to do them all too, but I figured the best way to do that is to create a bar. Um, Allow them different options to start off with. We began to introduce ice cream this passing year. So ice cream flavors with candy, chocolate, cake. Uh,
Ooh.
and cheesecake. So we began with those base. Pound cakes, different flavors of pound cakes like vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, banana, all those different things being able to start as a base. And then I came up with maybe about 50 or 60 toppings that you can put on so that you could create it whichever way you want to. And it just kind of it worked out so well with people being able to say, "Oh, give me a little bit of that, give me some of that, give me some of that." It was that concept. I think big companies like Chipotle, um, um, what is the other sandwich place? Subway,
Yes.
places like that who. When you knew, come in, make my sandwich, and then put these toppings on there. I thought that that concept was a really, really good one. Why not do it with dessert?
Mm. Listen, and some of us we walk away. You know how you go to a buffet and then you walk away and then it's gonna be sky high. Listen,
Uh-huh. Yes.
some of us we have to, because I know, my whole family. I would be like, where they at? They're supposed to be working, and they're
Right.
over at the Sweet Rain Desserts table, and they're coming. I mean, I see folk coming out of there. I mean, that dessert tray be yay high, and it take a couple days. But my goodness, it is definitely unique to Sweet Rain. And it is definitely, as I'm listening with my business mind, what makes you stand out, that folk can come along and you're not just saying, hey, try this normal thing, but you have flavors that you can create different flavors. You have cakes that are half and half. I know I saw one that was half chocolate and then half strawberry crunch, and I was like, my goodness. We've got the infused, like you can have a sweet treat and get a little tipsy too, whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
No way. This ain't this is raining everything sweet. And I think that is so it takes a little bit for some people to get used to, because some people, even you got all these choices and you're like, give me strawberry. It's just
Right. And they normally don't know where to start. They're like, I want a little bit of this, I want a little bit of that. So I always come up, especially when we're at Indulge event, I'll the bigger tray that'll give them an option. I can split that tray up in three different sections. You can taste what this is like, and that is like. Come up with your own creations, because then from there, it's also a marketing thing too. From there, I don't have to do vanilla all the time. I don't have to do chocolate all the time, because they put a combination together that they like. And now they can say, hey, Nia, can you make me a chocolate caramel with strawberry and put me some bananas on the side? And I'll say, of course so. Of
mm,
course,
mm,
and they
mm.
already know what it tastes like because we've already done it.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. And you also do classes. Tell me about these classes. What's going, like, we can come and then make our own sweet treat. All my stuff will be ate up before we leave. What's going on in the classes?
Well, I got two classes that I'll be doing. One is a private one. One is more private, and it'll be teaching how to do candy caramel and chocolate apples. And that'll be going on in February, right along with the next class that I have coming up. We're going to do a Valentine's Day special, where one of the other ladies that I'm with, she'll be making the charcuterie boards, and she'll be teaching how to do that. And then I'll be teaching how to make cupcake um, baskets, more or less of like a flower basket. So I'll be teaching you how to make the roses and different stuff like that out of icing on the cupcakes. And then we're going to put them into a bouquet. And you'll be able to present them to your family, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, however it is. But we're going to do those things together.
And them X-rated cakes too. So if you got your honeymoon coming up, she got you those too. I remember even for breast cancer, the boobies, and the Save the Boobies campaign. I was like, yes, honey, whatever holiday it is, like you are making memorable sweet treats, and we feel good about supporting you because you are continuing to do the work in the community. So you are definitely a woman of wisdom. You are definitely one of my mentors. You are definitely one of my sisters that can point your finger and say, girl, get it together, because you are walking in wisdom. We are looking at you, we are supporting you, and we want to continue to support what you are doing in and for the community. So definitely SweetRainDesserts.com. Follow her, give into her, throw out your Cash App. What's your Cash App for those of us that want to support you for your continued community work?
It is dollar sign and then Sweet Rain Desserts. Each one of the letters is capitalized.
All right, I'm gonna get that up here too, right? While we are on camera, Sweet Rain Desserts.
And
Awesome.
the first letter is capitalized in each one.
Gotcha. I'm gonna add that on the screen right now because, again, you are doing community work. Is that correct? Sweet Rain Desserts, dollar
Yeah.
sign Sweet Rain Desserts. So continue to support her community work. I know you partner with small organizations, with large organizations, with churches, all of these great partnerships. But majority of this work you are doing by yourself. We didn't even get into the Christmas giveaway. Before we get out of here, we definitely got to get into that, because there were hundreds of children that were able, and families that were able to come out and get gifts for their family for the holidays for $0, free 99, not nothing, nada, nothing at all. And all of this, and I'm looking at you and all of your support system that are out buying all of these gifts and getting all of this together, and you're swiping your credit card just as happy as can be, because you're like, oh yeah, I get to give all of my money away. This is fabulous. Listen, I get crazy. What about this holiday giveaway?
It actually started off as something. I had some extra free things that I had picked up along the way, and I was like, you know what, it will be good to kind of get something like this started. And each year it just kept getting bigger and bigger. Originally I used to we do like a raffle, or they'll pick a number or something of the nature, and whoever won it, I pass them out at the grocery store. But last year, it was pretty cold. Not last year, the year before last, it was pretty cold outside. And Shiloh kind of steps in there every single time that they see me out here trying to do something, and they want to give me an opportunity to be able to be me. And a lot of times it's very difficult when I don't make a lot of money. I make enough money to do what I do. And so, it's a tough balance sometimes between household and community, because the way God pushes me in directions, I have to be very obedient in order to be able to maintain the way that things go for me. So this year, it just kind of blew over from last year. I mean, last year we probably serviced about 50, 60 families. Can't remember the exact number. However, this year, godly, it was 200 and something, like 300 and something families. It was so many kids. It was really, really a big thing. And I was just really, really grateful, because a lot of the times when I come up with this concept, I knew last year I didn't want the kids to have to sit and not have anything to do, but I wanted to be able to come up with games or something of that nature. And then bam, Shiloh was like, hey, I got someone I want to introduce you to. And they were like, why don't I open up my space for the people that you are servicing in the community? And I was like, okay, God, I see you working that out for me. So I was like, I don't need to pay for games. I can spend more money on gifts, which allowed me to not have to have a cutoff. I really didn't want to cut off, because I didn't want to have to choose between who needed help and who didn't need help. I just wanted to help everyone that had signed up or came to be part of it. So Inglewood Fun Center opened up their place to us. They made it completely free so that we would not have to worry about anything. One of the things that I say when people want to be a part of what I do, there cannot be a charge at all. It has to be zero. I know that there's ways to make money to do stuff like this, but not at that time. There's other things that we can do to make money, but not for this particular one. So after that, I was like, okay, let's figure what'll be the next step. So I knew that I wanted to spread love this year through the children. And the ideal behind that, kids normally don't have a free option to be able to go pick out items for mom, dad, auntie, cousin, brother, sister, teacher at the school. They don't normally have that kind of ideal. So this year I had wanted to do that. Give them an option to be able to shop for free. And it was so exciting. Oh my God. And so I was like, okay, now there were still people who were coming to me and they were like, I have nothing for my kids for Christmas. I don't know what to do. And, my kids are coming there to get something for their brothers and sisters, but I don't have anything to give for them. And I was like, okay, God, I'm way past spent. I'm way past where I needed to be, and there's Shiloh always does a contribution to me, and then there's a couple people who will give me $50, $100, something of that nature. But most of that comes from the work that I do throughout the course of the year. Whatever I don't come up with, then I use my credit cards, and then I pay that off, and then I'm back at the same next routine for next year. But that's kind of where my mindset is because I don't want to become a nonprofit and have to have so much regulation that doesn't allow me to be able to help whoever, whether or not if you're a working person or non-working person. If you feel you need it, I want to be there to be that one to help you get it. So anyhow, in the process of thinking that, I was like, okay, God, I was telling someone else on the phone, talking about the story, and didn't know that someone else was in the background listening to me. And next thing you know, Fit Body Fitness says, they call me and they say, hey, Miss Rainey, we heard about what you're doing with these families. And You got about 450 kids you want to, get some gifts for. And I'm thinking, well, how many do you guys want to adopt? And they said all of them. And I thought, wow.
Mm.
So Fit Body came in to make sure that each one of those families was able to give their kids Christmas gifts. It was gift cards, it was doll houses, baby dolls, cars, trucks, everything. It was really, truly beyond anything that I could ever imagine. I was so beyond grateful. It allowed me to do my portion and still be able to be blessed by these other companies to help the families in the way that I seen fit. And I was so thankful to God to be able to make room for that. So that was really awesome. So we're already gearing up for this Christmas because we're understanding if we're going to grow from last year, if we're going to help 400 families last year, we should be looking for 800 families this year.
Mm.
I still never know how I'm going to do it, but God always makes a way. So I keep going. I work hard all year long to make sure that I can.
So over 400 families were able to come, play, be adopted, come and shop, come and get, just have this experience. I know there was amazing food there, and you
Yeah,
go from under 100 one year to over 400, and then now you're
very
going,
fun.
wow.
So it's
So
a
you
blessing.
had, so how many families? We got to get this number right. This past
This,
Christmas, how many families did you service?
this past Christmas, um, what I can tell you is that I can't remember exactly how many adults it was, but
Yeah.
I do know that we serviced 678 people. This,
Wow. 678 people
yes,
were
because
served.
yes, some of the people were able to make it to one event versus the others.
Mhm.
But for the most part, we do know that we serviced about 458 kids. Um, and so, yeah, so we,
And this is why, a lot of times, I know there are people in the community that were there, that saw it, that know you. But the whole world needs to know, like, this is the part that nobody understands, that this is done at the helm of one woman that decided to be obedient, that saw a problem, and that is not just there once, that is not just there every blue moon, but every single day. So every sweet treat, every dessert that we order, it is continuing that. But I just know, like you said, there's always, God is just so strategic. And as I'm listening, how you're saying, man, I was talking to one person and then another person overheard. And I just know that if you are coming across this video, that you want to help this woman, that you want to continue to service children and families. And it's important that I highlight what you said. Many nonprofit organizations, or any organization that you go to for assistance, you're going to fill out an application. You're going to tell all your business. You're going to have documents. You're going to have all of this red tape. And while that's needed in an area, uh, but some of us, a lot of us, don't even qualify for that help. So we are filling out this paperwork and still not receiving the help because, oh, you got a job, oh, you have income. But most of us that have a job and that have income, we still have times when we need help. So to be
mhm,
able to go to a woman to say, this is what I am, and for her to be able to say, okay, no judgment, let me help you. That is important, because there are people that are working full-time jobs that seemingly have it together, but they are struggling. They are in need. And what good is it for someone just to help with groceries for a couple of days, to help with a disconnect bill that's about to happen, to help with, I'm homeless, I don't have anywhere to go. This woman literally pays for hotels. I remember she made a post and she said, hey, can somebody give me something? And she is actually at the grocery store, just randomly at the grocery store, paying for people's grocery. This is the stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? And I'm just amazed at your obedience and your steadfastness, because this has been going on. How many years you been in business?
I've been in business 7 years. However, I've been doing my community stuff since about 2010.
Mm. So it's
It,
2023. In 2010, you started while still living in low income housing, while still going through the same stuff. And you are starting to solve the problem that you are in at that very moment. My Lord.
you know how they say, find the solution.
Mm.
Um, when I was sitting outside of my apartment writing my essay of how to create my own utopia, I realized that there's a lot of things that I would like to see be different, but you can't always make other people change. So I figured if I changed myself, then that would make the difference. If I could, the things that bothered me, when going to low income housing, I didn't know agencies that helped you with utilities and all these different types of things. There was people who didn't know how to clean up. There was people who didn't know how about certain programs. They didn't know about a lot of different things. We were all needing to learn together. So I started finding ways and meeting different people. And some places wanted to help without knowing that I was a tenant there.
Mm.
But once they found out I was a tenant, I was too low on the, for them to come out and help, but that didn't matter. It just taught me to become that place where I don't need to turn away anyone. However, um, throughout every single day, I follow whatever my heart tells me to do. So just like you said with the grocery store thing, it's quite interesting because, my husband, he laughed at me when I got home. He was like, babe, you rich people do what you just did. We're not
Mm.
rich. We're not rich. What are you doing? And I'm like, babe, I don't know. When I got to the store, it was like, find two people, pay for their groceries. In the process of paying for one, and I had my eye on another one, I seen two more people. And I was like, well, I wasn't where I was at my cutoff point. I was thinking, spend $600-700, and it'll be okay, but the older lady that I helped right before me, it gave me exactly what I was looking for. Someone so unexpected. Same way as it was when you guys gave me money thinking that I needed money from y'all. Turning around and going to another store and just walking up to people and allowing you guys to be part of it. Um, I want to be able to show the love of God. I want people to have hope. I want people to give themselves a second chance. A lot of the times we look for other ones to give us that, but it is really already instilled in us to become our greatest person. And we are our pushers. We have to push ourselves in order to get there. So, kind of being able to give people an option of understanding that, your story is your story. I don't need to know your story. Let's just be okay together, you
Mm.
know. So I was not okay for quite some time, and I've been at some of the lowest parts of my life. And what I've never wanted was to see anyone else get like that. And
Whew.
I fought, and I do what I do, not being rich, not having. I still have to use my home to do my baking. I could have stopped doing for my community and invested my money into opening up a business. Um, Having a food truck, those things that I want. But God continues to tell me, like, those things will come. Right now, this is what you need to do. This is what you have to do. So I bake not because I love to bake. I bake because it funds what I'm capable to do in my community. I need to do this in my community, not just for them, but for me. I have to be that change that I want to see.
Who and I want to be clear as you're speaking and your heart is pouring out. My God, I want to be clear that many times people are, I see posts of saying, hey, if you do something, do it in silence, don't post it, all that kind of stuff. And I get that one side of it. But when you are dealing with something that's so tremendous, we need to be advocates for you. We need to make your noise louder, because what you're doing is reverberating in so many areas and blessing so many people and giving so many people hope. And I just believe that there is always someone listening and watching. And I know that your business is thriving. You've been in business for since 7
7 years.
years,
Yeah.
thriving business. And so we need to bombard Speak Woman Magazine. Lord have mercy. Well, listen, we're the same person. It just comes out. We need to bombard SweetRainDesserts.com in order our sweet treats, but we also need to give. Some of us, we busy, we don't have, we got a lot going on, and we still want to be a help. And this is one organization. When you're giving to an organization, you're dealing with so many fees. And so there is not all of that goes to the community. But when we give to you, we know who we're giving to. It's not a blind place. It's not a blind person. We know, and we can literally watch what you're doing in the community. So I just know that there are those that are business wise, food truck wise, whatever it is that you need in your business, that those things are coming to you because you are taking care of what God is doing, and your business will continue to thrive. But I just urge you, send help. She needs help. We need to continue to uplift those in our community that aren't just in it for themselves. They're in it for the community. And that's why I love the podcast, because we can see and feel your heart. And I see and I feel your heart every day firsthand. And it's just a blessing for the world to continue to see, because you are a worldwide brand that's going on, and we need to continue to pour into Sweet Rain. So give today. Sweet Rain Desserts, $ Sweet Rain Desserts. Continue to do all that you're doing. I can't wait to see what you do in the springtime, in the summertime, and Christmas time. Like, just every day, all day is something that we need to continue to do, to follow you and to support you. So I love you. I appreciate all that you do in and for the community, and everyone that supports you. Just know that we love you. We see you, and we know that it's not easy, but you make it look good.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I
Yeah.
really do. I
It
really
ain't
do.
because you look good, girl. You look good.
I am thankful. I do have some people that are, they're right there, and it is a very big help. It is a very, very big help. As you stated, my mom showed up out there after the first people quit on me. She was like, I can't have my baby out there all by herself. So she was
Listen,
out there with me, tired, everything of that nature. And yo, they tried to make sure. And then when I picked up that phone and I needed you for the mental health, and it's like being able to be connected to some people who don't need anything from me. They're like, let me be a part of what you're trying to do. It makes it so much easier on something, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for everyone that believes in the process and trust the factor of what I'm doing, and hoping that it's work. It's a busy job. It's something that goes all year long. It never ever stops. There's always someone in need. And I'm thankful to that God gives me what I need to have in order to be that blessing when they do call.
wow, there is always someone in need. And so we definitely will continue to stay connected. You all, SweetRainDesserts.com, SweetRainDesserts.com. I love you. I can't wait to continue to watch what God is doing in and through you. And we will definitely make sure that we stay connected, be all up in your business. Make sure you check her out in the episode of Speak Woman Magazine as well. She is all through there. I think on every issue. You're gonna see some Sweet Rain. You're gonna see some Sweet Rain, honey. That's my personal baker. So I'm just thankful that you ship too, because we gonna get some shipping orders as well.
Yeah.
So your corporations, if you got a wedding coming up, if you have, you know what, I just need my fix for today. I need my sweet rains. Make sure you get support what she's doing. You heard all about it. And there is more. This is only the tip of the iceberg. So I appreciate you for your time. And you know I love you.
I love you too. Thank
All
you.
right, y'all. SpeakWomanMagazine.com. That's where it said, I want you to be a guest as well. We are talking about women of wisdom. And here she go right here, women of wisdom. Oh my goodness. So we want you to be on here as well. So check us out, SpeakWomanMagazine.com. Advertise, be our cover girl, be in the next issue, and come on over here to Speak Woman Podcast. We'll see you next time, SpeakWomanMagazine.com.